Hello, John Bloodworth Gentleman Crafter here with more adventures in machine embroidery. Now, as regular viewers will know, I've been having a little break during June. During that time, the creators of Hatch embroidery digitizing software, Wilcom, have released a new version of Hatch. It's basically Hatch Embroidery 3, and it's here. So just before I start, let me remind you, you can still download a free 30-day trial of Hatch 3 and give it a go yourself. But there's been a few changes, improvements and additions to the software. So what I'm going to do in today's video is just run through a few of those in brief detail, and then over the coming weeks in my regular slots I'll be throwing in my explorations of these new features. So let's take a look. First up is a new tool, and it's called Reef Photo Stitch, and what it does is basically takes an image, a photograph or a picture, and turns it into a stylized representation of that image. It's almost like the color photo stitch, but it narrows it down to almost like a grayscale so that you can stitch out a design with a sort of freehand look. It's kind of cool. Look forward to playing with that even. The color photo stitch is marked as new, but it's obviously been with us before. There's plenty of improvements under the hood though. So basically what this does is takes a photograph and uses randomly placed stitches to represent that picture as a stitched design. I've shown a few of those with Hatch 2 before, but obviously I'll be playing with the new one and seeing what settings have changed. Keyboard Design Collection basically allows you to map individual designs to characters on your keyboard, so you can actually type out incredible designs with just a few presses on your keyboard. Not sure how useful that will be to me particularly, but I know a lot of people that use ESA fonts will be very impressed. The new laydown stitch takes out all the guesswork for knocking back piled fabrics. So basically, as you can see on this image, you've got this kind of background texture that's knocked down the pile of this towel. And that's good because that then gives you more definition in your embroidery and makes it look very professional, and that's basically a one-click job. Now, Center All was kind of with us via the right-click menu before, but it took several different combinations of clicks with your mouse to achieve this. So what this individual button will do is basically position your design in the center of your hoop, and also then center that in the workspace as well. So it's kind of a time-saving shortcut if you do a lot of digitizing. Another new addition is the hand stitch effect, and what this does is takes blocked color areas and kind of variegates the stitching to replicate the hand stitch style, which could be very, very creative. Look forward to exploring that one. Now, as with any software upgrade, there are many improvements and differences under the hood, things you might not necessarily see. But basically with the auto digitizing tools, there have been a number of specific improvements, including color reduction, segmenting shapes, pathing and sequencing, and editing of vector artwork. So again, I look forward to trying that out and seeing what difference that makes to my workflow. And then basically there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they've posted down here, such as the way you can close open shapes with either curved or straight lines, adjustments to the sequence docker, changes to the lettering, so it gives you minimum, maximum recommended sizes there as well. Multi-position hoop splitting, that has been improved, so Hatch can now split your design to stitch in each hoop section and save it within the same file, which is awesome. New hoop and management system. You can now basically select your brand of machine, whether it's single or multi-needle, and then generally you'll find all of the different hoops there. And for those with a new Super Whizzy computer, basically the software will run on a 64-bit operating system. Now, a couple of other things are gems, and the one that I'm particularly interested in is the cross stitch gem. And basically what this additional piece of software will do is take an image and instantly convert it to a cross stitch design. And then you can basically export that as an embroidery file to stitch out on your embroidery machine. How cool is that? And you've got a variety of different stitch types as well. It's not just cross stitch. You've got your half stitches and spacing and everything like that as well. And you can see there an example of cross stitch design. So that looks very exciting. You've got easy to use lettering tool in there as well. And there's a few examples on the website if you want to take a look at that. That's basically an addition to Hatch 3 that you would have to pay for separately, which I have done. So again, I will be showing that in the future. Right, okay, let's take a very quick look at the software itself, and then I think I'll call that a day. The first thing that you'll probably notice if you've used any previous Hatch embroidery software is this massive overhaul in terms of the home screen. From here you'll be able to launch into designing, accessing previous designs either via the library, opening a file or choosing one of your recent files. You can also access all of the training, the over 170 lessons in the Academy. You can access all of the latest news and also all of the latest blog posts directly from the home page. Well, there's one of my projects. Hello. And of course access the social media for Hatch as well. Let's start by taking a quick look at the design library. So we've got all sorts of designs in here for a range of different occasions. Lots to choose from and try out, and of course these are generally, as far as I'm aware, bundled with the free trial as well, so you can load them up, take a look around, try them out and see if you like. There are a lot. Anyway, let's close that down and take a look around the design space. Now, if I start a new project, one of the things that I mentioned earlier was the ability to set your machine. So you can basically choose from all the well-known brands, choose whether it's single or multi-needle, and then obviously choose the relevant hoop size that you're going to be working with. You've got various hoop options as well there, so you can go in and change those. Not a huge difference when it comes to managing designs. You can still export lists and do all the other things that I think we've been able to do in version 2. Customizing, we've obviously got various different aspects in terms of the overall project, and combining different things or choosing threads. Lettering and monogramming we've had access to before. They're all there still. Lettering we've got, and we mentioned earlier about the recommended sizes, so they're now listed alongside the actual fonts themselves. All the way down. You've even got a cross-stitch font in there as well. You can still sort them by embroidery digitized fonts or true type fonts, but there's now also the keyboard design collection. This is one of the new features where you can map a whole bunch of different designs to characters on your keyboard and create essentially your own font from a group of designs, so you can obviously also find those if you need to. Okay, I think that's about it for that one. I believe there's a lot of background updates regarding font as well in terms of alignment and working out where things go. Artwork is exactly the same. Auto digitize. This is where you would find the reef photo stitch and color photo stitch that we mentioned, or that I've mentioned. And obviously I've mentioned the background updates to the digitizing, auto digitizing there as well. You've still got access to all of your various toolboxes that you had before. I've yet to discover any major changes here, but I'll keep my eye out and let you know in future videos. Now the center all button is kind of up here. It might move depending on the context menu, but that's what it looks like. And that's your lay down stitch as well, but that won't come into play until you've got something loaded up. So let's do that. Let's go for this running horse. Now I said there was changes to the sequence docker, and there are. You've now got the object type, the stitch type, and the number of stitches within that section of the design. And the colours and the colour codes are now listed as well under the colours, which is awesome because now we can be more organised. Anywho, let's use this central thing because the horse is a bit all over the place. So Control A to select everything and then center. Hey, that works very nicely. I might resize it a bit though because it's still a bit big for the hoop that's currently selected. So the lay down stitch, basically what this is going to do is create an offset of whatever size you want, include holes if you've got them, apply a standard shape if you would prefer, and generally I think 2 layers might work well for the piled fabric. You can click on preview to take a look at what it will look like before you commit, but basically what this has now done with a single click is placed a lay down stitch at the top of the sequence. So that's going to stitch down first, and that will basically trample down all the pile in the fabric, ready to accept your embroidery design. We can select this in the same way and just delete. So that was cool. Let's have a go with a quick go with the reef photo stitch. So I will load some artwork, random Art Deco lady statue that I've designed elsewhere, resize her a bit. In fact, let's just get rid of the hoop. Or let's make a big one. There we go. Center all, lovely. Okay, so now you see the reef photo stitch function is activated. We click on it and it brings up this dialog box where you can sort of adjust the image. Essentially what it's doing is taking our image and converting it to grayscale so that it can use that as a tone map for placing the stitching. Auto adjust basically just does what it says. Auto adjusts it to what it thinks will work well with this method. We can change the density, so we can have more or less, the length of the stitches and the minimum length of the stitches. And we can choose light or heavy. I'm going to choose heavy, and again we can preview it before we commit. And actually that's really good. So let's hide our main image. We can see that's a lovely sort of sketched, stylized version of the artwork. That's fun. Okay. I look forward to seeing that one in the future and playing more with it. I'm not going to go too much further, just simply because, as you've probably realized by now after I've been doing this for a couple of years, there is so much to explore in this software. If you haven't got it, I would encourage you to go download your free 30-day trial. If you have already got it, when you get to the point where you're ready to upgrade, go for it. In the meantime, I will leave it there, I think. So there you can see lots for me to explore in this software, and I look forward to sharing that with you in the near future. If there's anything you want to know about it, or anything that you want to see me cover in the future, feel free to post your comments or questions on YouTube or on the blog post that accompanies this video. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. Bye for now.